It's time for the Nebraska Football Coaches Show. Proudly brought to you by Channel. Channel seedsman place product to perform across Nebraska. Get expert advice that yields results at channel.com. Also brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers.
Dillon checking off, 12 on the play clock. Hands extended, gets the snap. Looks middle, looks over the middle, pass fired, it's caught, 5, and that's Nelson into the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska! Carter Nelson from Ainsworth with his first 6 points as a Cornhusker. Trips go right, one wide out to the near side. Emmett's the back, snap back to Riola. Looking, holding, throws over the middle, down the middle, pass caught. That's going to be a Nebraska touchdown. Isaiah Nair finds the end zone on a pass over the middle. 13-3 Big Red. Tight formation, turn, toss it off to a little end around by Barney. Use it to 10-5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Jacory Barney slips in there, taking the pitch on the end around from 10 yards out. Nebraska stretches the lead to 20-3. Motion toward the line of scrimmage. Fake the handoff, roll the pocket to the near side. Looking downfield as a man open downfield, but shoots it too high, and it's picked off. Intercepted Malcolm Hartzog. 10 up to the 14-yard line as Malcolm Hartzog out of the 19 as he goes and starts the mashed potatoes dance. Huskers get a pick.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to our football show for the week. Delighted to have head football coach Matt Rhule with us for the next hour. If you want to be a part of the program with a text, 402-413-2400. If you're on our YouTube channel, in the chat room, you can pop some stuff in there, and I'll be checking that throughout the program tonight. Welcome. How's the week been?
It's been good. Yeah, guys are working hard, getting ready for our first road test.
We mentioned when you sat down, I said, you've had great weather to practice in the morning. It's been beautiful out there, a little crisp, get you fired up and going.
Yeah, it feels like fall football. Got a little warm out there today, which is good too. So we've been lucky so far this year to be able to get outside every day.
I know you love night games inside Memorial Stadium. You just finished 3 in a row, and the scene is so beautiful. Wasn't that a great atmosphere last Friday? I know the result didn't turn out the way we wanted to, but man, it was another terrific night and great atmosphere by the fans.
Yeah, the atmosphere never disappoints. The support, the fans, it's really the talk of college football right now. I think everyone's had a chance to see it now with 2 really pretty high-profile games on national TV, and I know in recruiting, it's certainly a topic.
Terrific television numbers for the Friday night game, which is, I'm guessing, why Fox really kind of wants to put some Friday night football on.
Yeah, I think when they look at it, they see this as, the NFL now is kind of taking a lot of Thursday night, and I think they see this as an opportunity to be sort of the lone show on TV, football game on that night. So, it was an opportunity for us to show, the country really everything that University of Nebraska has to offer.
Yeah. As I said, I know you love home games, but it's probably time for this team to go on the road. And you've from those day ones here, said you enjoy the road experience. It's a chance to get your team away from town a little bit. So here we go. Let's play one on the road.
Yeah, I think just the travel, just the over the years, some things you take for granted. Some guys, it's the first time they've been on a plane. Not everyone, but some. And you kind of have to be sequestered. You're kind of locked down in the hotel together. Get up and go into another team stadium and try to play your best. So. It's the next step for us. It's something that we are excited to do.
Is there anything more satisfying in any sport, really, than to go to somebody else's venue and quiet their crowd? That's pretty satisfying, isn't it, Coach?
No doubt. It usually means you're playing well, and so it's hard to do. The Big Ten, the stadiums, the crowds. I think they're all great. I think the one thing for us is that we always have a great turnout on the road. So even as we go into a hostile environment, there's always a lot of friendly faces there.
It takes a lot of people to move a football team from one place to the other, particularly when you take as much gear as you do. You got a really solid staff that takes care of a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, Jay Terry, he's been here a long time. He does an amazing job. His staff, Dr. Elza, Thomas Bowling, the guys who work for us, they work hard. I think there's a lot of pride at the University of Nebraska, not just in the way we play football, but the way we conduct our football program. And so travel is really top notch, and very grateful to our administration. We're able to travel that way.
Let's talk the offensive line from last week. Gunner got a chance to play significant time due to the injury to Turner. We hope Turner's progressing there. How did he do, and where do you feel about that group now getting ready for Purdue?
Yeah, I mean, I think Gunner got in the game, and the moment wasn't too big. He was playing excellent. One thing Illinois had was excellent edge rushers, and he looked like he belonged. And so, now that you've played significant, real, meaningful minutes, you have a chance to come back in this week and look at, the way you played, what you need to work on. You're getting all the reps in practice, not some of the reps. And I'm proud of where he is. It's a veteran team with a lot of young players. And so you look out there on offense sometimes, and you got a redshirt freshman in Gunner pass protecting for a freshman in Dillon, throwing it to a freshman like Jacory, and those guys, they're it's a good experience for them, and they're learning from a lot of really great older guys, especially on that O-line.
Mike in the chat room goes, Coach, what's the status on Mazuka?
We'll see kind of where he's at. So,
okay.
But like I said, Gunner, we're ready to go with Gunner. We have a lot of other guys that like Micah that are working hard, ready to go. So we'll see where that ends up.
Micah has the ability to bounce out and play tackle. Does he?
Yeah, we have a lot of guys who've done that. Ben
Really?
Scott was left tackle. Micah had some snaps at left tackle.
Kanak can play tackle, right?
Kanak came here as a tackle. He was out last week. He's back this week. So the one thing we do with the way that we practice is we cross-train a lot of guys.
There were 5 total sacks by Illinois in the game, but 3 of them happened in the overtime period. So up until overtime, you give it up 2, which I think you probably could be fine with that.
Yeah, and even one was I believe, I can't remember how it was resulted, but one was just sort of a bobbled snap that where the ball came out of Dillon's hands and he had to go down and get it. So I think in a game where I don't think we're satisfied with anything that we did at a high level. I thought the offensive line got out there and battled versus an excellent. Illinois came into that game, giving up like 7 points a game. And I thought the offense moved the ball the way they needed to at times.
It looked like early in the game there was a conscious effort to get Jamal some touches in that game. Was that the way the win in, or did it just kind of play out that way?
Yeah, we don't have a ton of touch plays just because of Dillon's ability to get through progressions. Sometimes Jamal's the first progression. Sometimes he's an RPO and Dillon just reads it. I think Dillon's doing an excellent job of putting the ball where it's supposed to go. And then the other thing Jamal does is he hustles. He gets open. He's sometimes it's a scramble play. Like, we threw a route into cover 2 and he just worked back to the quarterback and caught the ball. So, Jamal, it was good for him to get that volume of touches this game.
That's a veteran savvy play. And Coach, somebody that's played a lot of college football. To do that, to come back toward the quarterback.
Yeah, the game makes sense to him. He works at it. So, he's really been good for our guys. And, like I said, when you have a game like 2 weeks ago where, the first 2 touchdowns are scored by freshmen, they're learning under the tutelage of guys like, Jamal who've been there, done that.
Dillon's numbers are still just eye-popping, Coach. Over 70% completion percentage. The 2 picks were balls that were in our guys' hands. We just probably need a little bit stronger about. But he is just playing at such a high level. You got to be really proud of him.
Yeah, I think he's it's not just in the passing game either. In the run game, the run checks, the things that he's doing. He's playing like a veteran player, and so every week he comes in, he identifies 2 or 3 things he's trying to work at. He understands that this whole thing's about getting better every week, and he's had a real fire. You can see in him this week to move the offense and take another step. Looks
like he really commands the huddle too, which is not easy to do being a young guy on a team, but it does look like he's certainly gained the respect of his teammates.
Oh, he's respected. He's respected for his preparation, for his ability to play. His willingness to take hits, and I think he shows emotion. He shows joy when he plays, and hopefully our team will feed off that.
Question in the chat room for you. You mentioned that Brett Maher's been helping out. Can he be on the field, or can he only observe at this point in time with his role?
No, he can fully coach. They changed that rule this year, and so, like I said, Brett's been with us, since the preseason, and we're just right at that first game. That's when we brought him in, right before / at the first game. We were trying to get the paperwork finalized, but yeah, he's on the sideline. The last chasing 3, when Tristan was kicking, you see Tristan go over and talk to him before he kicks a field goal. So, I think you can see Brett's impact on those guys. I'm sure it'll kind of, compound as the year goes on.
Unsettled at that spot here on a Wednesday for Saturday's game, or what do you feel about the kicking spot right now?
Yeah, no, John will kick. Okay. Tristan's still out. Probably be a couple weeks for Tristan, and I'm really proud of the way John's rebounded this week. He kicked the ball really well today, so he has the ability. That's one of the things about this job. Sometimes you see great players who just aren't, they just aren't where they're going to be yet. They're on the journey becoming a great player. And I think everyone feels like John has a lot of talent. He's a really big leg, and went through what he went through the other night. And he's bounced back this week, and I think that's as important as anything.
Hit the ball well. It wasn't like it was shanked or so. He just about a foot outside the pipe, which we see that in the NFL sometimes too, right, Coach, on those type of things. Coach is with us. You want to fire off a text? We're getting that text line fired up, 413-2400, the number to be a part of the program. Let's talk defense a little bit. Who played well Saturday night in your eyes defensively? One name that did pop up from Tony White was Sierra.
Yeah, that's Sierra. We needed him. Tommy went down. Sierra went out there. I thought he played with energy. He had his opportunity finally, and he played well. And that's as you go through the season, you need guys to step up. You need guys when guys go down, and especially a player of Tommy's ability level. And the moment wasn't too big for Sierra. He's played a lot of football, and he's learning our defense. He's kind of involved in what we do, and he knows it now. And you have to remember he didn't join us till the middle of the summer, so I'm happy for him.
Good. John Bullock leads you in tackles. Is that an indicator that he's playing good football?
Yeah, I think John's been playing good football. I think he goes sideline to sideline. He's got his hands on a lot of balls. Yeah. Disrupted a lot of footballs, and a lot of batted passes. So I think defensively, we've had some really good moments through 4 games. We've had some moments that we'd love to play maybe a little bit better, and so there's a lot of good for a lot of guys. Now we just have to get really consistent as we move forward and really eliminate some of the penalties that extended some of those drives.
Playing on the road, they, for the first time this year, will not have the crowd behind them to rev up the noise a little bit, so they have to kind of create that own energy, don't they? Yeah,
as Andy Reid says, all great teams create their own energy, and that's something that as you get on the plane and get to the hotel and kind of go through those things, you hope that it builds, and when you get to the game that you play with passion and energy, and maybe we play a few more guys on defense so we don't get worn down maybe, see where we are versus a team in Purdue that loves to run the football, and had been a passing spread team that kind of last week said, hey, we're going to run it, and they ran it really well. So it'll challenge us in every way.
They're unique in that because they were one of the top rushing teams a year ago. Even though with that air raid offense of Graham Harrell, they ran the ball so well last year. So it's interesting because everybody tags them with the air raid, and yet you better be ready to defend the run.
Yeah, no doubt. If they a lot of things that they do are based off the look that they get. If you're playing pass defense, they're going to run the football, and you have to be gap sound. You have to have enough guys in coverage. At the same time, you have to tackle well and get off blocks. And one of the things that's hurt us the last 2 games is, a 4-yard carry, getting drugged, and all of a sudden it's a 7-yard carry. So matching bringing the physicality that we need, I think, is really important in this
Those
game.
leaky yards kind of at the end of a play. You spent a lot of time in Texas. How big is the air raid offense at the high school level in Texas? Are a lot of teams down there using that kind of a style down in Texas?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you go to Texas high school football, you're going to see the ball in the air. 7-on-7s, it's a high school sport down there. It's so big. And the air raid's a great offense. The late, great Mike Leach, Hal Mummy, a lot of consistency in what they do. And this obviously, they take advantage of the players that they have, so they have their own unique bent on it. But Graham Harrell was a great quarterback, a great offensive coordinator. Has been successful everywhere he's been.
Yeah, it sure has. That 7-on-7 that they do in Texas in the spring, has that given that state a little bit of an advantage to get some guys more competition and more reps in a sport that's a little bit different than the 11-on-11?
No, yeah, I think it's a major thing.
Separator?
Yeah, I remember when I first went to Baylor, I went to a high school game, and it was a smaller school level, and I was watching them play, and I had never seen like those level of ball skills. Guys throwing and catching the ball at a really high level, and the weather permits it. You can throw. You're outside throwing year-round pretty much in Texas, and some great offenses, some great spread offenses have come out of the state from Art Briles and Mike Leach and those guys. At the college level, they started other places, but they were at Texas Tech, so the state's really adopted that.
Yeah. We talked about the night games. I know last week may not have been the case because we played on Friday, but the Saturday night games, does that allow you to get more recruits from Texas, Florida, those places here to experience a football weekend? Yeah,
the Colorado week was probably our biggest week. People can play on Friday night and drive here, or maybe fly in, or if it's their bye week. But I think as you look at what we've done in 2 years, we have a lot of recruits come to games. Even as we prepare for Rutgers and UCLA, and then eventually Wisconsin. There's still, as I talk to recruits every night, there's still recruits planning on being here. So.
Yeah, good. Because in your year and a half plus in Lincoln, have your experience been, if you get them on campus on a game day, does that help your chances of landing that person?
Yeah, no doubt. I think when they see the passion, when they see the environment, and I think when they just see Lincoln in general, I think they recognize it's going to be a really good place to live, good college town, good town, and so I think getting people here is the key. Good
stuff. Coach is with us until the top of the hour. 402-413. I see some more texts. I'll get to them on the other side of the break. 413-402-4200 is the number. Folks, you can receive 1 year 0% financing on seed and crop protection when you enroll in Central Valley Ag's Go Early Seed Program. Visit cvacoop.com to learn more. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation. More with the coach coming up.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Now get 1.9% financing on a brand new 2024 F-150 or Super Duty, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Natalie Kerr in Lincoln, Michael Reeves in Omaha, or Julie Null in Plattsmouth.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
In today's digital landscape, the security of your business is non-negotiable. That's why you need better cybersecurity solutions. At Hamilton, we make it our business to protect your network, data, and digital assets with the latest in cybersecurity technology. Our dedicated team of experts has the technology in place to protect what matters most to you and your business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with better cybersecurity protection. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Welcome you back for Husker Football Radio Hour. Matt Rhule with us tonight till the top of the hour. It's brought to you by Channel. As a farmer, challenges arise daily with the new enhanced Channel seed brand. You can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channelseed.com/rise. Huskers getting ready to travel to take on the Purdue Boilermakers. We've got Mike on our text line. Wants to know if you can give us an update on Javen Wright.
Yeah, Javen's getting closer to playing, so
Awesome.
Potentially this week, if not this week, next week. So a lot of things have to come to pass for him to be able to play, but would sure love it. I mean, I love that kid. I would sure love it if he could play here soon.
Yeah, he's been through a lot in his career. A lot of different things going on with him in his career. Injuries are part of it, and it starts to kind of pile up this time of year. We're still a week away or 2 weeks away from the first bye week that we're going to enjoy, but it's a physical sport. Boy, you look at the NFL every week, the injury lists just keep growing up, and college football's kind of turned into that too.
Yeah, I think you look at a lot of the Big Ten teams, a lot of them are like 2-1 right now. They've played one less game. They've had an early bye week. We're happy with where our bye week is, but part of that is the guys are just kind of beat up. So even if they're able to play, it just hurts. It hurts a little bit more, and that's why for those people that follow us and hear see us on that Chasing 3 and all that, we've been trying to hit home. Hey, this is going to be hard. Trying to do what you want to do and trying to win in the Big Ten and win consistently, and being relevant down the stretch. It's hard. Sometimes you're going to have to go out there and battle through aches and pains. You're going to have to step up when a guy's injured in front of you, and so. None of this is easy. None of this is done by talking. It's all done by doing. And the guys we've had to have step up have stepped up for us, and other guys who battle through, I'm sure they will.
Denny in Omaha on our text line said, Coach, how about Thomas Fedoni? A chance to maybe get him more involved? I know you do want to get him the ball.
Yeah, I think he had 3 catches last game. 1 got called back. We're just kind of one of those offenses right now where everyone's touching the ball. And read a great article about the Buffalo Bills, and it's talking about scoring a ton of points and how it's not any one guy dominating it. It's kind of the ball's going around everybody. So I think Jamal had 4 catches through 3 games and all of a sudden kind of exploded a little bit. Thomas is doing a great job. He's blocking. He's getting open. I think the big thing is the plays that Thomas are catching. Sometimes they're explosive plays. The play caught down the field to get down to the 3-yard line was an explosive play. So not many people have tight ends who can do that, but yeah, it's just not going to be skewed to any one guy. We're just trying to run plays that give the quarterback a lot of options.
Where has he improved? Has it been in his blocking?
Well, I think Thomas has been an excellent blocker, but I think his route running. I think about 2 weeks ago, you really saw him just buy into just trying to outrun people and explode, not thinking too much, and just really getting open and creating leverage and space. And that was really good to see because he's a weapon when he does that.
Question for the coach on our text line says, why in the NFL do they always huddle up, and in college it seems all out of shotgun? We do clap our hands for the snap, and why don't we ever huddle up? We do huddle up, though, don't we?
We huddle a lot, yeah. We huddle a lot. In the NFL, the play calls are so much longer. Because
the verbiage?
Yeah, the verbiage. You're talking about 10 to 15-word play calls, and really college utilizes tempo more. You can't really use tempo in the NFL because you only have 48 guys on game day. And guys get worn out, in college you have, 74 guys on the road and maybe 120 at home. So way more players, so you just get a lot more tempo. There's two different games. You know, NFL teams would clap if they could, but they won't let you do it in the NFL. Defense is allowed to clap. In college, you can't. So there's just a lot of little things to it.
I know you watch some NFL. What do you think of the kickoff rule?
I think in the long run it's going to be good. I think once people adapt to it, it's like anything else. When it first happens, everyone's like, "Oh, this is ugly. Why are we doing this?" But I think in the long run, at least you're seeing those plays happen. You're seeing. I'm sure the injuries will go down, but at least you're seeing people return it, and it adds another layer of strategy to the game.
Dorothy Lynch, homestyle, light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. Talked about guys getting hurt and injuries. You're now fully into your new building, and I know a lot of effort went into the recovery part of the new building, the Osborne Complex. How's that working?
Yeah, I mean, I was walking downstairs last night about 8:30, 8:45 at night, and Sierra Wright and a couple other guys were in the tubs, getting ready for today's practice. I mean, our guys use that thing from 6 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock in the morning till 9, 10 o'clock at night. Wow. So it's recovery can only do so much, and it can can prepare you, but it's important, and our guys utilize it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the advantages of that. The size of your training room there compared to what you were in here is night and day, Coach. Night and day.
Oh yeah, we're blessed to have those things, and it's like in modern medicine. There's all kinds of advances in technology. There's all kinds of advances in the things that you're able to do. So if a new laser comes out, we're blessed that we're able to go buy it, and maybe a kid that's supposed to be out for 2 weeks comes back in 10 days. Well, all those edges matter. That's what we're trying to regain all the little edges that are the difference between winning and losing. In your years of coaching, have you tweaked your road preparation day? Have you changed when you leave, or have you been pretty consistent from your Temple days to now about your road routine? No, yeah, I've changed. One thing I believe in is when you go someplace, you try to figure out what works there. You can't. It'd be way smarter for me to say, hey, what's worked at Nebraska previously, than for me to say, well, this is what I did at Temple, right? So, we have core things that we believe in. We like to get to the hotel early so the guys can rest a little bit. But we've done meetings, we've done movies, we've done coat and tie, we've done travel suit, we've done all kinds of different things. And as I tell our players all the time, the process is not the schedule. The process is a mindset where we attack everything and try to be great at everything that we do. So if I think changing the schedule by 10 minutes will give us one play advantage, I'm going to do it. And our guys are pretty good about adapting as we go. Yeah, we've got. You talked about these home games and these night games. You've moved sidelines since we last talked to you last month. How's that gone? And do you enjoy the legacy walk that has been going on the first 4 games? Yeah, I think the walk's amazing. I think the outpouring of support to it, the detail of it's been fantastic. I think it's another thing that our players will remember, and it's another thing that recruits will want to be a part of. I think the new sideline's been great. I think it's a little bit tighter. But, the sun's not in our eyes. We don't have to shield ourselves as we signal. We have to shield our backs, but we don't have to shield our fronts. So I think that's been a positive move. Nice. And the Legacy Walk has been very popular. I mean, the people are just jammed over here trying to get to see their favorite Huskers. It's really a cool deal. Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, good stuff there. Time now to name this week's Alumni Hall Husker Alumni of the Week, and we're going to go back about a little more than a decade ago and hear from an Omaha product, Niles Paul.
Niles coming over at the goal line, a yard deep, he's coming out. Paul to the 10, 15's got a seam, 20, 30, down the near boundary, 40, Niles cuts back, 50, 40, 35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Niles Paul with a 101-yard kickoff return for 6 points.
Niles' remarkable story, bulked himself up to go to the NFL, played tight end for years with the Washington Redskins. He got his diploma at Nebraska last month. We had Dennis LeBlanc on last night. He talked about Niles coming back and getting his degree, so a cool deal there. Niles Paul, our Alumni Hall, Alumni of the Week. Alumni Hall is your ultimate Husker shopping experience with the largest and best selection of apparel, vault gear, and tailgate accessories. Shop their 2 Lincoln locations or alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Huskers shop. John Omaha, I see your text. We'll get to that on the other side. Keep them coming. 402-413-2400. More with the coach coming up next.
Working together, Central Valley Ag unites with our farmers to feed a hungry planet. Enroll in CVA's Go Early Seed program and maximize your purchasing power with 1 year of 0% financing for seed and crop protection. Register for a chance to win Husker football tickets when you enroll in CVA's Go Early Seed program by October 18th. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hi, I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and co-founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program.
And I'm Des Moines Adams, Husker Black Shirt and CEO of Teammates Mentoring.
We are recruiting Teammates mentors and need caring adults to be in the lives of our students.
Meeting with a student once a week at the school can make a positive impact in their life and have a ripple effect in our communities.
Please join our team.
Go to teammates.org today.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Josh Ahrens in Kearney, Scott Vermas in La Vista, or Dennis Malloy in Bellevue today.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Tune in to the 12th annual Team Jack Radiothon presented by the Home Agency on September 26 to raise funds for childhood brain cancer research. Childhood brain cancer is a devastating disease affecting 5,000 children each year. Current treatments are over 40 years old and leave children with lifelong deficits. Team Jack is working to change this. Become a champion for a cure for just $20 a month. Every dollar counts towards discovering new treatments and ultimately saving young lives. Visit teamjackfoundation.org to donate. Your contribution matters more than ever.
Live reports of polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hubbard here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on New York equipment. The best warranty you have.
Call 402-391-2336.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on a massive screen. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
And we welcome you back to our Husker Football Radio Hour. The head coach with us tonight until the top of the hour. Still time if you want to be a part of the program at 402-413-2400. Brought to you by Channel. As a farmer, challenges arise daily with the new enhanced Channel seed brand. You can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. I know a lot of folks are out in the field doing their harvest right now, probably listening to us right now around the Cornhusker State. Good luck to you, all of you out there. Got a good text here from John in Omaha, Coach. He said, first of all, wants to thank you for all the hard work you put in. Love what he's seeing down here in Lincoln. Question for you, what is your philosophy about making halftime adjustments? Is it always X's and O's, scheme? And then what do you do with your coaches? Do you huddle, and how do you get them all on the same page in a 20-minute halftime?
Yeah, the offense and defense go to two separate areas. As you stop in and see both. We have the advantage now of the iPad, so we're seeing things as the game's going on and talking about those things. And one of the things that's been disappointing this year is, we haven't scored in the second half the way we have scored in the first half. And we've moved the ball and scored more field goals. And so, looking at that, and, is that a personnel thing? Is that a play thing? Is that an energy thing? What is that? So I think there's these sort of, X's and O's things, things you have to adjust during the game, and sort of globally you're always looking at, hey, what areas are we not doing that we have to do better? Some of the things coming out, starting fast, we've started faster. Scoring going into the half, we've scored faster. But, always kind of looking at those other things as well.
Your end of half possessions in the first half have been really good.
Yeah, we've gone out and scored and timed it up where we've run the clock and been able to get in the end zone. And so that part's been excellent for us. We just have some bigger fish to fry as we move forward.
Doug in Norfolk, for you, on punt and kick returns, do you have a certain set of rules for the returners, or is it up to them to make the call for a fair catch or to try to return it?
The fair catch decisions for them to make, right? If there's no longer the halo rule that used to be there. So sometimes when people say, well, we played in this, we never fair caught it. Well, there's also you couldn't be within a yard of them. There's a little different now. You can time up the hit now. You can't have targeting. You can time up the hit. So we wanted to be smart in terms of not catching the ball and getting hit right away where they put the ball on the ground. Coming out of last year, we made a decision we were going to err on the side of ball security and be in positive turnover margin, which we have. In terms of the kickoff return, it's situational, especially in our stadium with the wind. But either we'll say heels on the goal line or heels at the top of the letters. We'll give them different distances and depths based upon the timing of the kick, right? So if they're kicking, into the end zone, but it's 3-5, 3-6, we might say, hey, bring it out from here. And Jacory does a good job of making the right decisions on that.
I want to ask you about the punt return game. Isaiah seems like he has made really good decisions and has been very sure-handed back there. I'm knocking on wood, hoping I don't jinx that, but you have to like what you've seen from Isaiah.
Yeah, he's when he's had a chance to return it, he's gotten us yards, and he's prevented those balls that roll down and leak yardage and get down inside the 5, et cetera. Last year we started, backed up quite a bit, and because we weren't doing that. And so I think Isaiah's been a really good bright spot. It hasn't been maybe as dynamic, but you look at college football now with all the unique formations and crazy formations on punt, that you didn't even see these things, 10, 12 years ago. Most teams are averaging, 12 to 13 punt returns a season.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but he's aggressive, and if we can get him one, we'll get him one.
Contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. I want to ask you about Brian Buschini. Numbers off the charts. I know he had a directional issue with a kick the other night, but I think he's averaging just right over 50 yards a punt. How about his performance in 4 weeks?
Yeah, I think, and he's done a great job holding. He's had some challenges in the snap game as well, and he's at times, and he's gotten the ball down. So Brian's, example to me of a veteran player who's playing his best football as a senior and doing it for the team and doing it for the right reasons, which is awesome. And we are continuing to work on. We had one blocked early in the year, so we've worked a lot on protection, coverage now as well. When you punt that ball, you need to have guys who can cover that far because you cannot kick your coverage. And so, but Brian's a weapon, and he's allowed us to be aggressive in the punt game.
This texter wants to know if we can start a petition, Coach, to save the walk-on program. We need to stop this roster limitation nonsense they're talking about putting in to college football. I think there's still kind of a floating, moving target on that right now, or had they locked that in at 105?
Yeah, it should be 105, 105 players. Now, what exactly that means, the implementation of it, I don't know. It's Troy works really well at that stuff, and we're blessed to have Troy here because he's really one of the thought leaders in the country on these types of topics. But I, for one, can't imagine the University of Nebraska without walk-ons. I can't imagine where I'd be in my life if I wouldn't have had the chance to walk on. So, unfortunately, there's unintended consequences of every decision that happens.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned on that. I wasn't certain if they'd locked that in at 105 or not. Jim in Columbus says, Coach, I like this. We've run option a few times. Any chance of doing some more of that? That's really not Dylan's game, is it, to do that? Or you can, but...
Yeah, I think if we had Dylan run a bunch of options, we'd probably put him in harm's way. And, I think he's going to be one of the better players, kind of moving forward. But we're always trying to find, one of the things we do is, sometimes I think people call them bubble screens and all that stuff, but we really think of some of those things, those RPOs as an extension of the run game and option game. So as they've changed the rules, when they disallowed, when they got rid of cut blocks down the field, they really hurt the option game. And you see, Army, Navy, Air Force, Air Force has had to diversify. Army got away from the option, went back to it. But the option's a great offense, one of my favorite offenses, and they really hurt it when they did that.
Greg in Elkhorn wants to know how much, as a football coach, do you monitor weather conditions? Sounds like it could be wet Saturday in West Lafayette.
Yeah, I get an update twice a day, every day. So, we practiced with wet balls last week. It didn't really rain. We practiced with wet balls this week. Better to be prepared than not.
It's part of the game, right?
That's right.
Particularly when you don't have dome stadiums that you get to play in the Big Ten. The Big Ten Conference. How much did you watch last week? You played Friday night. How much football did you? You mentioned you snuck in the CW and saw some of the Purdue game. Did you watch quite a bit of football?
Oh yeah, I watched everybody. I watched all the games on Saturday. Yeah, I watched the people that were going to play, but I also just watched football across the board. I think it's good. First of all, I love college football, and second of all, I think it's good to watch those games. I don't really have a chance to watch much NFL football, but I'll watch college football Thursday, Friday, whenever I can.
Can you pick up something? Go, that's an interesting formation. We might need to look at that.
Oh, that's all. I think that's all we all do.
Everybody steals, and
that's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, good stuff right there. 402-413-2400. Good text. Keep them coming in here tonight. We need to work our final break in. Back to wrap it up with a coach next.
Another great harvest thanks to Pioneer brand corn.
Just a few questions.
Who are you?
Kim Kernel, Ag Sports News. I've been chasing your combine for a while. How does it feel getting 10 more bushels per acre over last season?
It feels great. Couldn't have done it without Pioneer. It's America's #1 corn brand.
And there you have it, folks. Live from the field.
Who are you talking to?
Pioneer. Your best year starts here. Learn more at pioneer.com/bestyet.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
Attention Husker Nation, are you ready to power up your game? Sapp Brothers bleeds Husker Red, and our high-quality off-road red diesel is the fuel that powers your equipment. As official sponsors of the Huskers, we're here with a touchdown offer with the Sapp Brothers Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. Contract your upcoming fuel needs by February 1st and enter to win 1,000 free gallons of our off-road red diesel. Keep your engines roaring and your equipment running strong. With this winning opportunity, Sapp Brothers fuels Husker Nation. Visit sappbros.net/fuel giveaway for more info.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. You're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
This fall, be ready for every tailgate, touchdown, and adventure in a perfect car, truck, or SUV from Sid Dillon Chevrolet. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and shop Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. We're also your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, offering medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit us at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Live reports of a polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Matt Rhule here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on New York equipment. The best warranty you have.
Call 402-391-2336.
Our final segment with the coach. Huskers getting ready to travel to West Lafayette, Indiana to play Purdue. 11 o'clock kick at the kick for the Huskers. Our pregame begins at 7 a.m. with Husker Game Day. Our show tonight brought to you by Channel. As a farmer, challenges arise daily with a new enhanced Channel seed brand. You can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. 4 Hours to Lincoln is in our YouTube chat. Wants to know your thoughts on Dante Dowdell's performance so far.
I think Dante's been a real bright spot for us. Runs with power, runs with authority, sets the tone, crucial runs. I think he's played really well.
Kenlin on our text line says, Coach, do you tinker at all with putting multiple safeties back on punts?
Yeah, Coach Darlington brings that up to me a lot.
Sure he does.
And that I think the challenge is you just make yourself vulnerable to the fakes, right? And with the change in formations over the years, and just now you can have multiple receivers. You always could, but not many people did. Having 3 receivers, 4 receivers, every week we're basically doing a walkthrough to cover all the different things that we see. Rugby punters, so it's great when you can do it. But I think if you do it consistently, you'll probably get the ball faked on you in the run game. It'll just be one number short.
Isn't it crazy how much influence Australian punting has had in the college game? We've seen a couple already this year. We'll probably see some more as the season goes along. They're everywhere.
Yeah, and the rules. In the NFL, you can't go across the line until the ball's kicked. In college, you can just rip and run, and so that's why you have the shield in college. So, when you used to be able to jump over the shield, it was one thing. Now you can't anymore. So there's just they changed the rules, and kind of like you asked me about the kickoff returns before, there's other things happen as a result.
A lot of things trickle down from the NFL, don't they, to the college game?
Oh yeah, I think it really goes both ways now. You see when you watch NFL football, you see a lot of college things, and some of the best things I've seen in football you see in high school games, So I think if you love football, you'll just watch all the different levels and see a lot of really cool stuff.
All right, let's talk Purdue a little bit. We have not much during the hour. They've struggled the last couple of weeks with Notre Dame and Oregon State. Very fun game here a year ago. We won 31-14, but pretty competitive in a lot of parts. Your thoughts about the Boilermakers you're going to face in 2 days?
Yeah, they challenge you in every aspect. Again, they're a team that runs the ball. They have tempo. They have an athletic quarterback. That's when some of the last 2 weeks has given us trouble. They'll run the quarterback. I think one of the biggest things is again, they have last week's Illinois game to go back and look at how we attacked Illinois' defense, because it's against the same defense. So making sure that we're prepared for all the things that they'll do as a result. You have to account for their good players. I mean, 45, the tailback's an excellent player. 4, the linebacker. They have a lot of really good players, but those 2 guys are difference makers. And so we have to have a plan to prepare ourselves for those 2 guys.
Speaking of walk-ons, 45 was a walk-on at Purdue for the first couple of years, and then I think Ryan Walters put him on scholarship when he got the job there. I know you love the challenges of road games. You love the environment of getting away from here, getting in a hotel room, team bonding. Somebody asked about the size of the travel roster. I think it's 74 for conference. Is that right?
Yeah, 74 players for conference.
Is that hard at times to limit it? And you have discussions, debates about who makes that roster?
Yeah, it used to be 70, so I'm happy that it's gotten to 74, at least in the conference I was in. But you come down to it. You want to take as many guys as you can, right? They've worked hard, they've grinded, and you have to have certain backups. So you might be taking somebody you know is probably not going to play unless there's an injury. But man, if you don't have 2 punters and something happens, you're in trouble. So it's a balancing act, making sure you have enough at every position, especially as guys start to get injured. And we work on it every week.
Road games, white uniforms. Here we go. White, red, those beautiful. I think we're wearing the beautiful red pants.
Yeah.
Those are so unique to Nebraska.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm anxious to see us out there.
The red pants. This is a place you've not been to, right? You've not been to a Purdue football
Yeah, I've never been to Purdue. So I'm anxious to get there. Obviously I've seen them on TV. I've seen them on tape. Got a lot of respect for Coach Walter. So looking forward to getting there, going to compete.
Here we go with the new Big Ten. A couple of teams have played conference games. We open with Illinois. It's now an 18-team league. So much change. The West Coast Conference teams here, we'll see a couple of them in November. It's just so different, Coach. Everything from this year to last year is night and day. No divisions, all that's changed.
Yeah, really, really, really different, I should say, is probably the right word. Just sit there and watch USC play Michigan in a conference game, and so I think everything we know about college football, everything we know about the Big Ten is all going to be challenged here. It's all going to be different. And, we'll just have to, the people who adapt the fastest are going to be the ones who have the most success. And so we're going to have to adapt as we move forward in this new league.
You've said this, there's a certain advantage for us because we're based in the middle of the country. We don't have 6-hour flights somewhere. We can go 3 and get to both coasts.
Yeah, no, I think we're centrally located. It's probably a really good thing. Even this flight, we're going to a different time zone. We didn't go to different time zones very often last year, but we're going to the East Coast, Eastern time zone. So there's a little bit more travel than there is, for other teams than there is for us. But the league is certainly different this year.
More NFL-like.
That's right.
Right. I mean, Carolina, you would be flying to Seattle, or you could fly to.
Yeah. But even then, you didn't have quite as many. I mean, literally, you're playing. At the time, eight road games, and at least 3 of them are going to be in the NFC South or in the local area, and so we might get 1 or 2 West Coast trips a year. But I mean, now you might for us, we might go to the West Coast one week and the East Coast the next. So all challenges, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's going to come down to blocking and tackling. It's going to come down to making plays between the white lines, and that's where our focus is going to stay.
So much of that's every week in the Big Ten Conference. Coach, we appreciate it. Good luck. Let's get this thing flipped back on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Huskers and Boilermakers will kick it off at 11 a.m. from Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette. Our pregame coverage begins bright and early. The sun will not be up in West Lafayette when we go on the air at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning with Husker Game Day with Ben McLaughlin and Damon Benning. We've got another hour of Sports Nightly coming up on the other side. We also have time to tell you that our Akrs Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. We're going to have our Big Ten Blitz, and we're going to hear about Team Jack. They've got a big radiothon coming up tomorrow across the state of Nebraska. We'll give you all the deets on that coming up in the second hour of the program. Don't go away. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Good evening. I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Husker cross-country runner Dennis Chapman was named Big Ten Men's Cross-Country Runner of the Week earlier today. The freshman finished 15th at the Greeno-Dirksen Invite this past Saturday with a time of 25 minutes and 22 seconds. Nebraska softball will take part in the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic in Cathedral City, California for the second year in a row. The Big Red will open play with a doubleheader on Thursday, February 20th, against Baylor and UCLA. Friday, the Huskers will play Duke before another doubleheader on Saturday against San Jose State and Howard. Then they will close the Classic out against Utah on Sunday. And finally, 2 members of the Nebraska swim and dive team were named to the Big Ten preseason athletes to watch list. All-American freestyler Gina Jorgensen and diver Kelsey Claremont were the Huskers named to the list. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
One wide out to the near side. Emmett's the back. Snap back to Riola. Looking, holding, throws over the middle, down the middle, pass caught. That's going to be a Nebraska touchdown. Isaiah Nair finds the end zone on a pass over the middle. 13-3 Big Red. Tight formation, turn. Toss it off to a little end around by Barney. He's at the 10-5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Jacory Barney slips in there, taking the pitch on the end around from 10 yards out. Nebraska stretches the lead to 20-3.
Left side swing. Ruben block back covered. Again, Ruben left pin cross court. There's Olivia Malk with a beautiful in-system dig. Right side. Merritt Payson. Kaboom! That's volleyball. Pass by Delaney. Here come the Huskers to the side. Jackson, can she do it again? Kaboom! Waking babies, if there are any, in downtown Louisville, 16-14 Nebraska.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We're back, hour number 2, Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Hope you enjoyed last hour, hearing from the head football coach as they get ready to travel for the first time this year. He legit likes to go on road games. He likes this kind of getting his team together, where they're together the entire time, kind of isolated from people. I think it's time for this team to do that.
And it's a really good bonding experience, right? I mean, when you can go, it's hard to win on the road. And so I feel like when you can go win a Big Ten road game, it really brings a team together even more. I mean, think about last year when they left Illinois and just how close that brought that team together. And
that was a fun flight back.
Yeah, there's nothing like it, and it's hard to do, and you really can only rely on yourself. There's, families travel and fans travel, but it's so regimented the schedule that it is for however long, about 24 plus 12 hours, I don't know, like 36 hours or so. I mean, it is just about the team. And so I think it really can bring a team together. And I think a lot of competitors get fueled by that, get fueled by the hate. You know, I mean, throughout my career, there's been, like, Baker Mayfield was one of those. I go back to, he was just fueled by the hate. And so he always just seemed to ball out on the road, or when people were yelling against him, it seems like that's when he was his best. And some competitors are wired that way. And so I know that there are a few players that, yes, they love being in Memorial Stadium, and they get so much energy off of that, but there are some players that really are fueled by that negative energy that come at you. I don't know, it fires you up in a way that just different. It's just different.
Most players will say the most satisfying thing is quieting a crowd.
Oh, yeah.
And they love to do that, and they're like, can I hear you now? Where are you at now? As we just took over the game or got a turnover or those type of things. So hopefully that goes this way for the Huskers. Purdue is hurting. I mean, that's a team that got smashed by Notre Dame 2 weeks ago, played a little bit better in Corvallis. Like Coach, I watched that game with Oregon State last week as well. They just, right now, their defense is not forcing turnovers and not stopping the run, and that's got to be driving Ryan Walters crazy, because he's a defensive coach at heart, to see them play like that. But we got to go do it on the road ourselves, so that'll be the challenge on Saturday. Sounds like he's very comfortable listening to him. One of my first questions was, how do you feel about the offensive line? Now you've got Turner hurt. Gunnar came in. Mazuka's been not part of things for the last couple of weeks, and I think they're comfortable with what they're going to run out there Saturday.
Yeah, and Mazuka did go through full warm-ups, which, the week before he was not in uniform, and he was backing up throughout team warm-ups. He was right there behind Henry Lutoski, and then there were multiple times throughout the game on the sideline he was warming up. I didn't know if he was going in or just staying loose in case he was needed, but hopefully he's continuing to do things right so that if his time comes, that they can call on him wherever it may be. Because, hey, it's great to know that he can play tackle if needed there, and that Tyler Knox is going to be back this week as well and providing that depth. But, I've been saying it all week. It seemed like up until, maybe a little bit in overtime, things got away a little bit, but seemed like for the most part they were really happy with the play of Gunnar Gatula and how he came, especially in that moment against Illinois' defense. That's not an easy ask to come in on your first time and being thrown in there like that. And they moved ahead like business as usual. And I think that's the mentality of this team, that no matter, same with Sierra Wright, he comes in and he was a huge bright spot, And so I think that's just the mentality of this football team now is, hey, next man up. I mean, we've got to play that way. You've got to be ready when your number's called, no matter if it's a starting left tackle that's been here for years and years or whoever it might be. You've got to be ready to go. And I think Gunnar Gatula answered the bell pretty well.
Coach said the moment didn't look too big for him. He looked like he belonged on the field. I think thumbs up for his performance.
And you learn so much by being in, you can practice all week, but we hear Searle say it all the time. There's just nothing like getting those game reps. Well, now he's got almost a full game, 3 full quarters that he was in there. He was the guy. And so it's just a lot different kind of experience when you can get that than just, practicing all week.
I asked you about the road routine. I think that fascinates our fans a little bit. Last year, at least, the way he traveled, and I think the way the itinerary was set up for this trip, they like to get to a hotel an hour or so before they expect the guys to come down for dinner. And then whether they go to a movie or not, I think sometimes they leave it up to the team. With an 11 a.m. kick, I don't think they will this week because they want to have some meetings before they put them to bed to get proper sleep before the night of the game. But they generally like to get to the hotel an hour or so before dinner time, and so I think that's kind of their MO.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this team plays at 11 a.m. It's been late, and which has been opposite of kind of what we've had in the past. We've played a lot of early games, and it's hard to wait around all day, and a lot of players don't like. I think Coach Rhule has said it. He's the coin phrase kegs and eggs, right?
Yeah.
But he kegs, eggs, and football, I think, is what it is. But he, I think a lot of players. I have not talked to many. As much as they love the atmosphere, I don't know the vast majority, the percentages. Probably in the 90s of players that prefer playing at 11 a.m. or early. They don't like sitting around all day and waiting to kick things off.
Particularly on the road.
Yeah.
Now, when you're here, they can slip over here and go do a quick workout or stretch their legs. Can't do that. It's harder to do that. They can go to a high school field or something, but it's harder logistically to do that.
Right. So I feel like, I think they'll be, I think this is going to be a team that's ready to get back on the field. I just get the sense, and I mentioned this, I think, last night with Elliott Brown when I was chatting with him for the Cornhusker conversation, which just, you hear so much about how smart he is and the IQ, and it just was fascinating to sit there and talk with him because he's almost like talking to a coach, but, just with his pulse and the feel of the team. And he had said that it feels different, this loss, how this team is approaching coming off this loss than maybe in the past where it was like, oh, here we go again. Like this team is pretty fired up to get it right. And we heard Tony White saying that they have adjusted some things in practice and they're going pretty hard in practice. And, the physicality, the tackling, all those things that they want to get right. They know that they're better than what they showed, than what they put on tape, especially the last couple of weeks. Throughout a few stretches, they know that they're better than that. And we know that they're better than that. We've seen it, and so I think they're pretty anxious to get back out there and put better film on tape.
It's already been a long week.
Yeah,
and it's only Wednesday, and they're going, God, can Saturday get here? We want to reverse that and get back in the win column. Children of the Corn in the chat room has got an interesting observation. He says, why can't we play a full four-quarter game and put this losing close games to an end. And Coach referenced that. He goes, we've been slow in the second half. He goes, we've been analyzing it. What are we doing? Are we not re-energizing ourselves? So they're looking into that as well.
Yeah, especially because that is so important. And as good as they've been in the second quarter, I mean, they've only given up 3 points in the third quarter, and they've outscored teams. What it was out of the first 3 weeks, it was like 51-0, and then what did we score we at least scored going into half last week again.
We did, because the clock was running down. We scored like 20 seconds ago.
So how they've played in the second quarter going into half, and they emphasize that the middle eight is critical. And so as good as they've been in the first part of the middle eight, maybe not as good in the second middle eight. And when you talk about winning football teams and the statistics and all of that, and how much emphasis they put on the middle eight, they've done their job for the most part in the first half, or the first part of that middle eight. It's the second middle eight that you've got to be better at. And so, yeah, I mean, I think, and then think about out of the gate, this last week was the first time I think they didn't score on their first drive, the offense, and then the defense. It just, when you talk about setting the tone out of the gate in the first half, you want to come out and do that in the second half too, especially when you've got a lead, and maybe put more of a, put it more on their, what is it that when you put it on their throat, you step on the throat a little bit more. I feel like when you go into a half with that kind of momentum and a lead, if you come out and stick it to them again, then it gives them less of a fight throughout the second half. So I think that's been, and again, another thing that I've heard from players is we've got to be better out of the gate in the second half, and to be able to really, put a team in a grave, at the beginning of the second half.
4-game samples, a good chunk of the season. A third of the season is now behind us, and so that's been the MO. Slow starts in the third. Go back to UTEP even. We were up big against UTEP and just could not quite just go hammer them in the second half. Same thing, Northern Iowa was a sleepy second half. Colorado had the big 28-0 lead at half, but didn't score in the second half. So it's more than just one time. It's happened multiple times, and I think that's why they're worried about that. Talked about Purdue's defense with him a little bit, but Jess, they have not forced a turnover in 3 games. And yet Nebraska, we talked about it all summer long, +7 through 4 games. That is fantastic. What a great turnaround there.
And 2 of the turnovers are pretty are jump balls.
Right, they stole away.
So it's that margin could be even
bigger.
Yeah.
Dylan could have 0 interceptions very easily.
And and I love what I think it was Isaiah Nair said, that he told his guys, I'm going to keep throwing it to you, and he still fully believes that. Hasn't deterred his trust in them at all, that he believes that those guys are going to make those kinds of plays. And so, yeah, it's pretty, you talk about taking care of the football and then taking it away. And so far that's
been a big positive.
Yeah, huge positive. And I think, the 2 turnovers that were iffy could have gone either way. And then also I think we'll challenge the wide receivers to be more physical with the football. Despite, you can tip your hat to the defense all day long, the wide receivers will sit here and they'll be the first to tell you, I got to be more physical. It doesn't matter what kind of overall picture looks like with the overall play. They'll say, hey, it's on me. I got to be stronger with football. And I think even just knowing Dylan a little bit, I haven't asked him about it, but he probably even take responsibility too. Like, hey, I got to place it a little bit better. But even still, the fact that your 2 of the turnovers on that margin were jump balls that could have gone either way. Is also pretty encouraging as well.
Absolutely. Soccer tomorrow night, back home at Hibner Field. Boy, they need a win. They have not won a conference game yet. They play Illinois, pretty good, solid team. 7 o'clock. Wish them good luck tomorrow night. Volleyball doubleheader tonight on BTN. Penn State looks fantastic. They are up 2-0 at Purdue, a raucous Purdue venue there, but Penn State looks great. A couple of former Huskers on that team. We will have John Cook in studio tomorrow night. Hour 1, his volleyball show is at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, looking to catch up with the coach. They open conference play Friday night with UCLA, and then USC will be here Sunday night at the Devaney Center for Husker volleyball. So a really rare Sunday night match at the Devaney Center. I mentioned doubleheader on BTN. After this match, Penn State, Purdue, you go out west. Ohio State and USC are going to play the late match. So if you love college volleyball, Big Ten volleyball, a little doubleheader action headed your way tonight. Well, Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday
since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse. They are the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. We got the Big Ten Blitz coming up. We're going to check in Wisconsin. We'll also hear from the folks at Penn State and Michigan State getting ready for conference matchups here this weekend. We'll do that. Then we're going to talk about the Team Jack Radiothon, which is tomorrow. Statewide radiothon, raising money to help find a cure for pediatric brain cancer. We'll give you all the details about that coming up this hour as well. Don't go away. The Blitz is coming up next.
Tune in to the 12th annual Team Jack Radiothon presented by the Home Agency on September 26 to raise funds for childhood brain cancer research. Childhood brain cancer is a devastating disease affecting 5,000 children each year. Current treatments are over 40 years old and leave children with lifelong deficits. Team Jack is working to change this. Become a champion for a cure for just $20 a month. Every dollar counts towards discovering new treatments and ultimately saving young lives. Visit teamjackfoundation.org to donate. Your contribution matters more than ever.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
IT issues wreaking havoc on your day? It's time to hire the experts. It's time to hire Hamilton. When it comes to your business, you don't have time to worry about network security, data backup, and protection, or support when devices slow down or stop working. At Hamilton, we ensure that your technology is up to speed and works as hard as you do. Don't let IT issues slow you down. You deserve better. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
I report some polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Matt Rhule here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty you have.
Call 402-391-2336.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center. It's sponsored by Akrs. They're the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Wednesday night means it's time for us to take a little spin, a little trip around the conference. We call it the Big Ten Blitz, brought to you by Groundworks.
This is the Big Ten Blitz. Wisconsin.
Here to talk about the Badgers, Jesse Temple of the Athletic. Wisconsin coming off of a bye week after the loss to Alabama, and probably at a good time after the quarterback switch with the injury to Van Dyke, and now Braden Locke gets a full 2 weeks to work. What's been the mood like getting him ready for this game with SC?
Well, the good news, if there is such a good thing after injuries, is that Braden experienced this a year ago. Tanner Mordecai got hurt late in the first half against Iowa. Locke came in and then started the next 3 games. So he went through this. He says it allowed him to gain a lot more confidence. And you're right, coming off a bye week, it means that he had a full week to prepare for this game and not be thrown off guard. But, of course, they're going into a really difficult spot playing a top 15 USC team on the road.
Jesse, what's the bigger concern right now? Is it on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball right now?
Both, but if I had to pick one, I would say offensively. They brought Phil Longo in from North Carolina. He'd had tremendous success basically everywhere he'd been, and he felt very confident that he was going to be able to make this work right away. And last year, that's not the case. And I know he said it did not help matters that they lost quarterback Tanner Mordecai for about a month. They had injuries at running back. But still, this was an offense that scored its fewest points per game in 19 years at Wisconsin. And this year, the product has not been markedly better, despite the fact that they're 2-1. The first 2 wins against Western Michigan and South Dakota were closer than expected. So they've got a lot to figure out there. What exactly do they want to be? Do they want to be physical, run the ball? Do they want to air it out, go down the field? They really have not had very many explosive plays or even attempted much down the field.
You referenced it. It's USC coming up this week. The Trojans coming off that heartbreaking loss to Michigan. Might not be a bad time to play them. Break this matchup down for us. What do the Badgers need to try to get accomplished to go pick up a road win?
They have to accomplish a lot of things. This is still a tremendously difficult task. I am interested to see what they do offensively with Braden Locke. Now, we've heard they can do some different things with him. One of the things that Locke has said he's more comfortable with is going up-tempo. He felt like some of the successful drives they had against Alabama, and there weren't many, came when they went up-tempo and they had a little bit of a roll going. So will they do some things differently with him as opposed to Tyler Van Dyke? I would think so, but they can't have turnovers. They need more scoring drives, and defensively, they can't give up the explosive play. They have not been able to get off the field as frequently as they've needed to.
Jesse, are Badger fans fired up about this? Will there be some Badger fans in the Coliseum?
Well, Wisconsin's a national brand just like Nebraska, so I'm sure there will be some people there. It's not like they've had an opportunity to go to the Coliseum and see this game. I think they're fired up just because it's a ranked team. It's the first Big Ten game, but I would also say there is a fair amount of angst developing when you just consider that we're in year 2 of the Luke Fickell era. They're 9-7 over the last 16 games, and they're looking for the product to be better. People are going to give Luke time, but they want to start seeing some results.
Wisconsin at USC, 2:30 Central on CBS. Jesse Temple of The Athletic. Jesse, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Michigan State.
Here to talk about the Spartans' longtime cover of that great program up in East Lansing is Hondo Carpenter. Michigan State lost a tough one to BC in a rainstorm last Saturday night in Boston, 23-19. 4 games into this new era of Spartan football. Hondo, how would you grade Jonathan Smith so far?
A+. I think everybody's excited about what he's done. You know, Mel Tucker just decimated the program, in my opinion. It was in terrible condition. The fact that they're 3-1, I've said if he gets his team to a bowl, it'll be one of the best coaching jobs in Michigan State history. And I've been intimate with the program for 53 years. Just the job he's done, the way that he has put this thing together, the way he's recruited, he's done a marvelous job. That's just the reality is Michigan State doesn't have a lot right now. And they do have a lot of talented players, but they're all so young. It's just going to be a rebuilding process, and that's just the state of where Michigan State is. It's the reality, but the man's done a terrific job.
You mentioned those young players. Aiden Childs, the quarterback, is one of those that's a young player, but certainly looks like he's got the tools to be an excellent Big Ten quarterback. Your thoughts on Aiden?
Yeah, I think he's the absolute real deal. I think he's got a chance to not just be a good quarterback. I think he has a chance to be an elite quarterback, and normally he wouldn't even be playing right now as an 18-year-old kid. But Michigan State had nothing else, and so he gets in there, hasn't had a chance to be developed, which is understandable. Some of those mistakes, he's just going to make them. But the thing about the kid is he's just resilient. He's a fighter. Now, I want to make this statement, and I want everyone to hear me before they throw up. He is a poor man's Tommy Frazier. Great leader. I think he's a better passer. I don't think he's as good of a runner, but he just really personality-wise as far as leadership.
Well, they've already got a conference win under their belt, Hondos. They beat Maryland on the road a couple of weeks ago. I think that surprised a lot of people around the conference that they got that road win. This Saturday will be really hard. I mean, Ohio State's loaded at every position. What's a good barometer for Michigan State fans to how they kind of context that game on Saturday with the Buckeyes?
A couple of things. I think, first of all, Michigan State needs to get out of there with no injuries that impact the next week. Number one. Number two, you want to see a bunch of young players play. Here's the whole deal. I was talking to an NFL scout the other day. We were talking about Michigan State and the job that Jonathan Smith's done and having to rebuild, the terrible job that Mel Tucker did. And we were talking about Ohio State, and he said he believes there are 60 future NFL players on the Ohio State roster. Think about that one. And he mentioned Nebraska and said, goes back to the old Tom Osborne days where there was guys who were third-string offensive linemen that played in the NFL. He goes, if you were to take their team, he said there would be 2 or 3 NFL teams that would trade their 53-man roster for the top 53-man roster of Ohio State. That tells you how much talent is there. At Michigan State, they're not going to win. And these are 2 programs at complete opposites. One is at the apex of the game. One is rebuilding at the bottom of the game. And that's just the reality of where they are. I think Michigan State needs to simply come through this with no sustained injuries, no new injuries. That'll affect next week, get a lot of young players play, take their lumps, and move on.
Under the lights at Spartan Stadium, Ohio State, Michigan State. That will be at 6 o'clock Central on Peacock. Hondo Carpenter, as always, we appreciate the insight. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Penn State.
Here to talk about the Nittany Lions, Corey Geiger, who hosts a Sports Central radio show weekdays in central Pennsylvania. Penn State coming off of a convincing 56-0 rout of Kent State last week. Corey, kind of give us a feel of where the Lions think they are now 3 games into this year.
I think they believe their offense is different and better than it was last year. They're doing some different things offensively. They're more aggressive. Andy Tilnicky, who came over from Kansas, is he is more aggressive. He's being allowed to be more aggressive by James Franklin. They're taking some shots down the field, using a tight end a ton. They have a very good tight end. So I think they like where they are offensively. defensively, they were, expected to be great. They really have not been. I mean, the Kent State game doesn't really matter, but they didn't look all that great against Bowling Green. This will be a very interesting test against Illinois for that defense to see if they can kind of establish control and dominance of a game.
Well, the last time these two met in Beaver Stadium, it was a classic. I know that overtime game would not end. That was one of the wildest games I've ever seen, Corey.
Well, you said classic. I can't say on air what it really was, a piece of bleep, but it's the worst football game you could possibly imagine. If you're watching 9 overtimes, you'd kind of hope it's like 63-60 or something. It was a disaster. Both teams were terrible. It ended up 20-18. Illinois won. It was memorable.
Memorable. There you go.
Big difference between classic and memorable. But, man, that was a wild day. And then this is the first time Illinois has been back since then.
Yeah. Well, the Alumni, we just saw them an overtime game in Lincoln last Friday. Break this down. How do you think this matchup goes?
Well, Greg, in all honesty, I mean, Penn State's favored by 17.5 points. That seems crazy to me. I think Illinois is going to come in here. Brett Bielema is a physical coach. He's a typical Big Ten coach. He's going to try to take control of the lines, on both sides of the ball. I'm very curious to hear from your perspective how angry the people in Nebraska are, because I got to think that everybody there would feel like that's a really, really disappointing loss. I love what Matt Rhule is doing. I think Nebraska's down. I thought Nebraska would take care of them pretty well. Illinois can come in here. They can do some things. I don't think they can beat Penn State, but they're riding high, I got to think.
Is this a whiteout game Saturday?
It's not. No, that's for later on in the year. It is a night game. There will be great energy and great crowd and everything. So I know Penn State will be ready, but this is the first opponent Penn State has faced that's going to line up and punch them in the mouth. Bowling Green gave Penn State a good game, and it was they were able to score and move the ball, but they weren't a tremendously physical team. Brett Bielema is going to come in with a physical team. They're going to punch the Penn State kids in the mouth, and we'll see how the kids respond after really kind of cruising through the first few weeks.
As Corey mentioned, under the lights, NBC 6:30 Central Time for Penn State and Illinois, battle of ranked teams on Saturday night. Corey, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Take care, man.
Corey and all of our contributors appear with us on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with a home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. That's the Blitz, presented by Groundworks, the official foundation company of the Huskers. Jessica's back to sit down with one of our favorite groups, Team Jack. They got a big radiothon coming up tomorrow. We'll tell you more about that next.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we're born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Now get 1.9% financing on a brand new 2024 F-150 or Super Duty, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on a massive screen. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Well, we've got a big day tomorrow coming up here on the Huskers Radio Network. You can hear across all of the HRN, the 12th annual Team Jack Radiothon. And to talk a little bit about that with us is Jim Baldonado, the president of the home agency, who is going to be helping out with the Radiothon tomorrow. Jim, thanks so much for being here with us.
Yes, we're glad to be here.
So you heard me say the 12th annual Team Jack Radiothon. This is the 6th year in a row that you guys at the home agency are helping out. You're going to be in Elwood, Nebraska, taking calls. And last year was a huge day, $170,000 in just one day that you guys help raise. Why is this event so special to you, and what does it mean to you guys to be able to host this in your hometown?
Well, we've been doing this now. I think this is our 10th year. And we tried it in Lincoln and other places, and it just didn't seem to go over very well. So we wanted to, I asked them to give us a shot. Let's move it to Elwood and see what would happen. And, you know, all of the people in town really got together and really made it a deal. And like you said, last year we were up to 170,000, and hopefully this year we're going to hit over 200,000.
Oh, that's great. Why is this cause so important to you?
Well, you know, it hits mainly children, and people know children are very important to me. We've got 7 grandkids, all healthy grandkids, and we just love healthy children and little kids, and so that's one of the reasons. You know, if it wasn't for you know, kids in the community and different things like that, you know, the communities wouldn't be much. And so, you know, healthy children, healthy kids are very important.
Okay, so why is funding the childhood brain cancer research so important in this cause behind Team Jack and the funds that you guys are going to be raising?
Well, it's so hard to get a lot of funding for things like this. And so with Team Jack, I think they've raised, what was it, $13 million over the last 11 or 12 years. And so they're really doing a super job. And, you know, here in Elwood or, you know, anywhere else that they're doing this, it's important that people, you know, hear about what's going on and you know, step in to help, because it's really difficult to get a lot of people or a lot of funding for this program. And that's what we're here for.
What makes you so invested in this, and why should others commit to helping fund the Team Jack's mission?
Well, we're invested because we got healthy grandkids. We have, you know, with our staff, with all our different offices in Nebraska, Kansas, and Colorado, you know, we've got good, healthy families, and you want to say it's just not fair. You want to participate, you want to have good, healthy kids, and, you know, we go to these different gatherings for these kids, and you may see them one year, but you won't see them the next, and it's real sad. And so whatever we can do, we want to do it. And the home agency now, I think, has been involved. I know we had it 10 years ago. We had it in Lincoln when the arena just opened up 10 years ago, and we were one of the first things in there. And so we're excited about it, and we know we're going to have a good day tomorrow.
You know, when you guys all get together and you're answering these calls and you're all together in Elwood, Nebraska, you know, I know it's for a cause that can be pretty sad, but when you guys all come together, how much fun is that to be able to come together and help out with this? It is a lot of fun. I mean, we get to see people that we haven't seen for a year. And, you know, it is for a sad, you know, it is sad. But, you know, some of those kids are here, will be here tomorrow, and it's not sad for them. They're happy to see everybody. They're excited, and we're excited to see them. And we're excited to see them year after year. But again, sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. Okay, so tell folks that are listening in how they can get involved tomorrow. Well, they can give us a call, and, you know, you'll have to give us the number because I did not pick that up. But they can give us a call here at the office here in Elwood. We're going to have, I think there's 8 people all day long starting at 7 until 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And there'll be raffles. There'll be ways to win different prizes during the day. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we hope to raise a lot of money. I saw $20,000 in cash. Folks are going to have a chance to win? We are going to give away, the home agency is giving away
The top prize is $20,000 in cash. The second one, I believe, is $5,000 maybe, and the third one is $2,500. So I think there's $27,500 to be given away tomorrow, sometime tomorrow afternoon late, and then but there's all kinds of prizes during the day too. So it will be a great afternoon and morning.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong, but the number I see here is 855-RUN-JACK. RUNJACK, so 855-RUNJACK, or teamjackfoundation.org. Am I correct there on that information?
That is correct. That is correct.
All right, and starting at 7 a.m., bright and early, you guys are going to be ready to start answering those phones, right?
Yes, we will, or some of them will. Let's put it that way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you so much for helping out this such an important cause, and obviously Team Jack, very near and dear to the Nebraska Athletics Department as well. So thank you so much for your time.
It is. Thank you very much.
And have fun tomorrow.
We will. Thank you.
Again, that is Jim Baldonado, the president of the home agency that will be answering calls all day long tomorrow in Elwood, Nebraska, as the Team Jack Radiothon kicks off tomorrow, and you can hear right here on the Huskers Radio Network. All right, we got to step aside for a break here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit Huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game. Thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to Huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Cox Mobile is hosting Huskers Hangout, Omaha's official watch party, this Saturday at Smash Park in La Vista. Huskers legend Eric Crouch will be on hand from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a meet and greet with fans, and the game kicks off on Peacock at 11. The event is open to the public and all ages are welcome. Husker Hangout presented by Cox Mobile this Saturday at Smash Park in La Vista. For more information, go to huskers.com/hangout. So I have been to Smash Park, and it is awesome. I got to tell you, I've been once. I went this summer before I went to the Storm Chasers game, and it is such a cool setup. So they've got pickleball courts, and they've got cornhole or bean bags, whatever you call them. What do you call it, Camden? Cornhole, bean bags.
I'm cornhole for sure.
Okay, so they have, that. They've got axe throwing. They've got all kinds of cool stuff. So it is just a cool setup, and they're going to have the game on because it's on Peacock. So, hey, get on out there. It should be a fun time and also just a really cool spot. So highly recommend checking it out. If you're in Omaha or just want to drive up and check out Smash Park, it is really, really cool. We had a question in the chat from Children of the Corn, Camden, that asked if College Game Day would be at any Nebraska games this year. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on how Nebraska season ends up unfolding and the kind of matchups, because they pick from week to week depending on how things are and where things stand in the standings and rankings and all of that. But I also don't know, because this is the first year that the Big Ten has not been on the ESPN networks. And so I don't know how they're going to approach covering the Big Ten from here on out. I mean, yes, they were at the Michigan-Texas game, but Texas is in the SEC, and ESPN has a stake in the SEC. So I don't know. We'll see how it unfolds and how they're going to approach covering the Big Ten from here on out, and Big Ten games now that we're full into conference play, how they're going to approach covering it, and if they're going to go to Big Ten matchups. I don't know. I imagine they will, but I don't know how they're going to pick and choose and what the numbers of Big Ten games they go to. But I do think I can say pretty confidently, I do think a big noon, the Fox setup, the Fox pregame show will absolutely probably be at a Huskers game this season, depending on, I don't know which matchup, but I think there's several good chances there that Big Noon could certainly be here. Final with the volleyball, had a big matchup, top 10 matchup, Penn State at Purdue. Number 4, Penn State sweeps number 10, and that was in West Lafayette, so at Purdue. And the caption on Twitter for Penn State volleyball said, "We let our play do the talking." I don't know if there's some drama there, if Purdue was talking, I don't know, but their caption on Twitter, or X said, "We let our play do the talking." But Penn State sweeps Purdue. I did see Maggie Mendelson got a lot of play. Caroline Juravicius as well had, last I checked, had multiple kills in that as well. So big one there in the Big Ten. And we got another big one. Wisconsin and Minnesota coming up here in just a few minutes. It said 9:05 Eastern, so here in about, 9 minutes on the Big Ten Network. So big night of Husker volleyball. Camden, you haven't been to Smash Park, right?
I have not been. I've heard of it, though. I've heard great things about it.
You should definitely check it out. I know you're going to be pretty busy, so Greg's going to be on the call this weekend, and I hope it's all right to say that he's going to handle it here, and then Camden's going to be helping out. You're going to be spotting for the first time. You ready?
Yeah, last year I spotted a game, but obviously it's a whole different level, not seeing the game in person like it'll be with Ben in my headset or watching it on the screen. So, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Should be fun. All right, so coming up tomorrow night, we have our Nebraska volleyball show in the first hour, 6 to 7 o'clock. Coach Cook's supposed to be here, but I don't know. We'll see if he sends one of his assistants, but then we'll have an hour or two of Sports Nightly. We've got our football picks coming up tomorrow night as well. All right, thanks for listening. We will talk to you tomorrow night. Thanks to Camden for helping us out here tonight.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Still using that old, outdated office phone system? You need better.
At Hamilton, we offer solutions for the modern office. Whether you have an office full of staff or your employees work remotely and are on the go, seamless call handling is important. Elevate your communication and connect seamlessly with clients and staff with Hamilton Business Phone Systems. Choose better and hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.